if I can do it, you can totally do it too. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Shannon and I blog about simple solutions for six-figure debt. Today I am going to share with you guys our $625,000 debt snowball. That is right, we have a lot of debt. My husband and I are both doctors, we're podiatrists, and we came out of school with well over $300,000 of student loan debt, and then to top it all off, we opened a medical practice of our own and have accrued quite a lot of debt trying to figure out how to run a business, making a lot of mistakes, and we're ready to clean them up. So I am going to share with you guys how we plan to tackle this, because let me tell you, when I first added up all this debt, I did not feel like tackling it, and I just figured that someday down the road we would pay it off when we made more money. But unfortunately, someday is not a plan, and we ended up just completely broke with debt payments way more than our monthly income could support, and honestly, I thought we were bankrupt. It was time to do something drastic, and that's when we decided to take Financial Peace University and start Dave Ramsey's Baby Step Plan. But today, I am going to share with you guys some debt snowball tips, exactly how to get started with the debt snowball, and how to create a debt payoff plan when you have massive debt and you're just like, I don't know. So let's get started. So if you're not familiar with the debt snowball method, basically how you get started is you're going to list all of your debts from smallest to largest. So if you don't know exactly how much you owe yet, this is the time to pull your credit report, dig up all the bills that might be laying on the kitchen counter, find everything and list it from smallest to largest. I have a printable in my free resource library on my blog. I have a whole set of budgeting printables that you get when you sign up to my newsletter, and this is the debt snowball worksheet. So you can use this to list all of your debts from smallest to largest. Starting with the smallest debt and getting that paid off really quick and then moving to the next one keeps you motivated. So somebody like me with over $500,000 of debt, it's really hard to just look at that and try to start attacking it. So if I just look at the smallest loan, for me, I have a hospital bill on here that's $135. So definitely I can attack that quickly and get it paid off and move to the next one and feel like I'm really doing something. So as you're listing your debts from smallest to largest, don't worry about categories. So for example, my student loans are $363,000, but I'm not going to put that at the very top of my debt snowball. They're actually broken down into several, like 15 tiny loans. The smallest one is $1,107.43. So that's going to go closer to the bottom of my debt snowball, whereas the largest debt is $56,851.88. So that's going to be obviously way at the top of my debt snowball. Don't look at everything as categories like credit cards, student loans. Look at each individual debt. So if you have 5 credit cards, you're not going to add all those together and put them in your debt snowball. You're going to take the smallest credit card. So if you have like a $500 credit card and then one where you owe $5,000, so they're going to go in different places in the debt snowball. Don't add them together and try to chunk them together like that, because that'll still feel overwhelming. The more that you can separate everything into little tiny manageable chunks, the better and easier it will be to start attacking. Tip number 3 to start tackling a very large debt snowball is to set even smaller goals for the bigger amounts that just can't be broken down. So like I was saying, one of my largest student loan chunks are like $56,000. So when I get to that point on my debt snowball, I'm probably going to set like smaller little goals and say, every $2,500 that we hit, we're gonna, throw a party or something. But basically, we're gonna have to set smaller goals because it'll just feel too overwhelming to go for that $56,000 loan. I do have a debt payoff tracker that's also in my printables library. So since we have so much debt, I actually made a little chart for myself for the first hard. I don't know if you can see it. First 25K. So here's our first 25,000. We spent the first half of this year basically just learning to budget and cutting expenses like crazy. So now we're ready to kind of restart our debt snowball. And I feel like we're making some progress on this first 25,000. Then I'll make like the next sheet, and it just, because you guys, trust me, I'm super overwhelmed by it, but if I can do it, you can totally do it too. The fourth thing that you're going to do after you've listed your debts from smallest to largest, you've broken everything down as small as you can get them into manageable chunks and everything. Now you need money to pay these things. So now we're going to learn how to budget and cut our expenses like crazy. So you can watch another one of my videos where I talk about how we've cut our expenses over $8,000 a month and are living super frugal so that we can get this debt paid off way faster. I talk a lot on my blog about budgeting, and I have some budgeting principles that I've spoke of earlier in the video that you can grab to help you learn how to budget. That's so important because that's how you tell your money where to go. Starting in January of 2016, the first 3 years that we were practicing, we actually managed to pay off about $266,000 of debt. This was because we had very high minimums that we had to make every month for our practice loan and for some other things. So we didn't really have a choice. We were like hanging on for dear life trying to make those payments. But then we were also still using credit cards and not making a budget and, trying to invest and then pulling that out. We were a mess. So you can't really start your debt snowball until you know how to budget and you cut down your expenses, and so you're not going back into debt. So like we were paying it off, we were going back. So after this is all said and done, we're going to have paid off like $890,000 of debt, which is like insane. I can't even believe I'm saying that and that I'm even sharing this with you guys. It's crazy, but again, I'm just hoping that if it helps somebody, then it'll be worth it. So once you have found extra money to chunk at debt, you're gonna pay all your minimum payments on all of your debt, and then any extra money you can find from selling things or extra jobs or whatever, that's gonna go to the smallest debt until that is paid off. Once the smallest one is paid, that minimum payment you were paying plus any extra you can find now goes to the next one. And as you pay little debts off, gain a bigger snowball to chunk and chunk and chunk until you get to the highest debt. And then you're really going to be throwing so much money at that highest debt that it's going to actually go away pretty fast. Okay, another tip. So there are some snowball exceptions. So I'll share with you guys, because we're new business owners, we have some IRS debt that we owe. And because that is kind of like a scary debt, in other words, the IRS can literally ruin your life if they want to. You want to get that paid off first. So even though that's not our smallest debt, we are working very hard to chunk any and all extra money at that debt. And we should have it paid off here in a couple months, and then we'll start with those little hospital bills, and then we'll roll right into the student loans and also some business debts that we have. I did not separate our business debt and our personal debt. I put it all in one snowball. I have a goal of ourselves and our business being 100% debt-free, and so everything is rolled into one big snowball. So if you have any IRS debt or any kind of debt where they sued you and they're now garnishing your wages, and you just want to get that cleared up. Okay, and then the last thing, I mentioned this earlier, but don't worry about the interest rates. If you're a super math person or a finance person, that probably bothers you, but the point of the debt snowball is you're going to get this paid off fast. You're not going to be paying your student loans for 25 years, hoping for student loan forgiveness. That's not what we're doing here. We're getting these things paid off like crazy. The debt snowball works and is so motivating because it makes you start to believe. You believe that you can do it. You believe in yourself. Once you learn how to budget and you start cutting your expenses, you have like hope. It gives you hope. So that's why it really works. I definitely recommend trying the debt snowball if you've been wondering how you're going to pay off debt, how you can tackle such a large amount of debt. Just look at us. Hopefully you don't have as much debt as we do, but hopefully I can be somebody to follow and inspire you and help you through this journey. You can get all the printables that I used in this video and my free budgeting printables below. I have the link in the description. And don't forget to subscribe so you can follow us on our debt-free journey, myself and my husband and our 3 children. And make sure to let me know if you're starting your debt snowball and tell me how you stay motivated. I hope you found this video helpful and inspiring, and I will see you guys next time.